Well, basically, parents have to understand what education is, and that is making yourself whole as an individual. There's all types of education: formal, spiritual, informal, and intellectual. And black parents have been sold a bill of goods thinking that they don't need to be involved in the raising and the education of their children. They almost do a handoff. And that handoff is when their kids get to kindergarten, they hand their students off to the system. And the system is not necessarily there to educate kids, they're there to instruct kids to help them along the way. For African Americans, they don't understand the history of how we had to fight to be able to read and write. And so they have given that over to someone else to do. But what I would say, and I would employ African Americans to do, is to understand your history. There's an old adage that says, one who doesn't know their history is destined to repeat it. So why would we have spent the last 400 years fighting for the rights to be educated and then give it away behind a system that's was never designed for us anyway? Parents can basically get their kids educated in very, very kind of tangible ways just by everyday life. Education is a process, and that process must be dealt with on a daily basis. Simple things you can do from the crib to college. You have got to place value of education in the home. You have got to have your children prepared when they hit the kindergarten door. You have got to chart their path, so to speak, much like one would chart an athlete's path. The same thing holds true with education. And so there are many resources out there. I call them treasure hunts. And for me personally, I was able to find programs and things for my children that was right there before my face. But what I find is a lot of people, parents in particular, walk into a school site and they never take the time to look to the left at the bulletin board. And at the bulletin board, it may say, free tutoring for your child, offered by a private company, or free music lessons. And you'd be amazed at the depth in which your child can participate in these activities that help them along the way. So education is a process that parents must know that they are the driving force. They must set the standards. Schools are not going to set the standards for you. I always say, in terms of equity, people ask me to define equity all the time. And I basically say, my definition of equity is this: equity is only afforded to those who demand it and know that they need to do so. And so what I mean by that is, you can get the same quality education for your child as you would get if you sent them to a private school if you simply knew what to do. You must become educated yourself on the educational process, and that process must be transferred over for you to guide your students' life so they can have a successful life.